If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Not just anyone would have won 5 Super Bowls with Belichick, right? Even maybe 1 or 2, but 5. The reason Brady's even in the conversation, in spite of Rodgers being so much better than him in every single category, is because Brady is a next-level leader.
He's one of the great competitors, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game.
I got a quote here. I'm going to read it to you. It's with determination a person can link leadership and confidence to create an image of ability and brilliance. They want to be associated with a winner. And if you can give the impression of being a winner, people then will follow you.
Brady shows incredible leadership qualities, even in answering this Aaron Rodgers question or making that statement. Brady, a leader has to at times show humility, has to at times, and usually should be honest. Mm-hmm. And so when he's asked about Aaron Rodgers, there's no shame in his game. He can admit that his teammates, that his coach, really the coaching staff, the franchise, that he's benefited from that. He can look at someone else and say, that dude's more talented than me. That's okay with him because he's secure about himself. And he is a great, great leader. And that's what I'm seeing here from Tom Brady. I see those kind of qualities from him. I saw it when he ended the interview and then later didn't call for the guy's job, right? Because he asked an inappropriate question about the kid or whatever it was, or he made a comment about his kid. Nope, we're not talking about that. But later said, look, everyone makes mistakes. I consistently see him handle situations like a great leader, and I see that in his behavior frequently.
I agree with that. Tom Brady is class personified. Tom Brady's a champion for a reason. Tom Brady's a role model in so many different ways because of the leadership that he shows and the way that he refuses to throw people under the bus, and he deserves an abundance of credit for that. There is no question.
He has been a very positive, outspoken guy with this offense, and I've kind of been just waiting for when that starts to happen. We know that there's been times in the past where he's iced out players if he doesn't think that they really run the routes that he wants them to run in the manner in which he wants them to be run. He has stayed on that positive side, but talking to players the last couple of days, they have started to say that ultra competitiveness of Brady is starting to show its head more and more. And obviously, as they get closer and closer to opening week, it's obvious that that's going to be the case.
What are the little things that Brady does in the way of leadership that are maybe not obvious to us or fans that are obvious to you?
Yeah, just the way he handles young players and veteran players. Like I said, he's another coach on the field. Talking to Gronk about how he's running his routes, talking to Scotty how he's running his routes, anybody about where I expect to see protections with the offensive linemen. And like I said, it's a never-ending thing with him, the perfectionist, to get everything right in practice. And then also his calmness on the sidelines during games when we're not winning and we're going to win. Those type of things that, you put those in a bottle and you make a bunch of money.
The game's not over at the end of the first quarter, It's a long football game. You're going up against the best teams. You just got to expect that it's going to go down to the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. And whoever sometimes has the ball last is the team that wins the game. And I've been in a part of those in the good times and the bad times. More good than bad, but still regret those bad ones a little bit. It's still, pissed me off a little.
It's okay for you to think good about yourself because there's enough people out there writing bad about you, right?
That's true. That's definitely true.
You had the team that no one could ever touch. And when I say that, I mean, you could have been 19-0 and you set every record with statistics that year. I can't help but think as a competitor, that one actually hurts.
That would have been, that's the Tiger Woods winning at the U.S. Open by 15 strokes or whatever. You still talk about it however many years later. And I think that 2017, we had beaten some incredible teams that year. We beat you guys. You guys were undefeated. You guys were a spectacular football team. Play you in the Dome. It was a good game, but we pulled away in the end. We beat the Giants at home last week of the year. It's just in the end, the one game that mattered for the most, we just came up short. Really, I give the Giants a lot of credit because they earned it. Eli made some clutch plays. They had a few lucky bounces. They had a helmet catch. But give him credit. Give him credit. Reluctantly, I'll give him credit.
The first guy to ever hit me when it happened was Tom. I've been knowing Tom, and Tom hit me, man. He's like, man, I would love you to come help us out. this, that, and the third. And the first thing, who wouldn't want to play with Tom? You know what I mean?
When you get in the huddle and you call those plays, you got 10 other guys that are feeling your energy. And what are you putting off? Are you putting off confidence? Are you putting off fear? You know, they can feel all that. And when they get in the huddle with me, I want to look in their eyes and I want them to feel a belief that we're going to do it.
You know, you brought something up there, the fact and the notion that Tom Brady was recruiting a lot of you guys. How much of that sort of leadership, but also the recruitment stands out for you guys? I know it's taken you a little bit more to gel. As you talked about the Saints, obviously they've been together longer. They call him the general. It's sort of easy to be led by him. But when you think about Tom Brady and what he's done this season, does that stand out for you, the fact that he kind of brought this group of you guys together?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I could have went another route. You know what I mean? I could have went somewhere and let the offense ran through me again. But I just felt like it was the perfect decision for me. You know, a decision that I prayed on when I got cut by Jaguars. And that's what it was. You know, I knew I was going to surround myself with a great leader like Tom, which he's been doing a tremendous job the whole season, as you can see.
I think we got a hell of a team. Yeah. I think we got a great football team. And I want this team to be remembered that way, but the only way you can is if you win the game.
If you win the game, do you walk away?
Hell no.
Well,
hell no.
No, all right, fine. We've got to defend it.
There's no way, because I'm having too much fun now. So this is the time to capitalize. I've worked hard to get to this point.
I'm proud of you, proud of what you've accomplished.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about Deflategate. Notice I didn't get into it. Don't care about it. But I just think you've held yourself well, and I'd be proud to hand you that trophy, man.
What a guy brings to an organization, the kind of pedigree, the kind of ethic, the kind of whatever. In the end, how do you frame what Brady's value was to this Buccaneer team from start to finish?
You can't quantify it, Scott. You can't put a dollar figure on it. He's underpaid relative to what he brought to this football team, because a lot of what he brought to this football team is quote-unquote professionalism that you can't necessarily touch. You just feel and you copy and you emulate and you respect. And all those things are what players did the day he walked in here as far as the respect they showed to him and the way they followed him and the way they allowed him as one of their quote-unquote peers to teach them the championship way. I'm not going to say the Patriot way, but the championship way, because this guy is the ultimate champion in pro sports. And even his head coach said the same thing. He said, at some points, I just step back and let Tom coach. How many coaches in the NFL, the ultimate ego man sport, and I'm not knocking that because there's a lot of proud people who play in this league and coach in this league, but in the ultimate ego macho man sport, how many head coaches would say, sometimes I just let my quarterback go ahead and coach. I just step back. That is the utmost respect you can pay to a player, and Tom Brady has earned that, just like he's earned everything, Scott, in his career. And that's why I say this: don't get Brady fatigue. Just emulate the guy, learn from him. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, because what he is he's a self-made man. And we all respect that. We all respect people who did it the hard way. This guy did it the hard way. Now he's just showing you how to sustain it. And that's a great life lesson, man. That's what he brought here.
I referenced that night in Chicago when the Bucs lost to the Bears and Tom Brady put up 4 fingers because it looked like he forgot what down it was in that loss. Now, 2 weeks later, Brady, as it turns out, threw 4 touchdowns against the Raiders. And you, my friend, tweeted out this photo. This is what you put on Twitter. Hey, Tom Brady, how many touchdown passes did you throw today? It's really nicely done, but I get a sense, Scott, there might be a little bit more background to this tweet. Tell us about it.
Yeah, there is, Kyle. And what happened was after that, the 4 and him getting beat up in the game, Tom and I were texting, and then we talked, and I didn't like what was happening because I was just frustrated when we have greatness in this league that we see players get beat up unnecessarily, and everyone loves to poke Tommy. So a couple of weeks later, he has the game where there's the 4 touchdowns. So I posted that. And what was great was Tommy saw that afterwards, and he tweeted me. He said, listen, even Betty Crocker burns the brownies sometimes. And he was being self-deprecating, but he was being honest. And that's who he is as a leader. And that's who he is with his teammates, right? In the moment, he's passionate. He's upset. Again, being in touch with him after that game where he gave the 4 fingers and had the downs mixed up, he was upset and he was really frustrated with himself. But what he does is he moves on to the next thing. He gives himself that moment to beat himself up, just like he beats up his teammates, but then he moves on. But again, the great reminder was he wasn't being disingenuously self-deprecating. Like he said, sometimes even Betty Crocker burns the brownies.
His leadership is beyond anything I've ever seen. Peyton Manning's the only thing close.
We love having you on the show, especially because you drafted Tom Brady. You were so close with him for the first 9 years of his career. And you mentioned that word leader. So let's dig into that a little, because there's a lot of leaders in the NFL, if I'm honest. Josh Allen is talked about as a leader. Stephon Diggs probably said that 1,000,000 times this year. Aaron Rodgers is seen as a leader. Drew Brees. What is it about Tom Brady that makes his leadership ability different and unique? What's different about his leadership?
Kay, I think what's really different is he has these values that he believes in, values of leadership, but he truly lives his values. Among them are accountability, selflessness, but to me, the big thing is his inclusivity. And inclusivity is a big word that's thrown around by a lot of leaders at a lot of speeches and TED Talks. But Tom Brady, since he's been in the league, has lived being inclusive. I go back to early in his career when he won his first couple of Super Bowls, and he was given a bunch of opportunities at national commercials and national endorsements. And when he had those people reach out to him, he made sure that his agent, Don Yee, negotiated them, but he would not do those commercials or the endorsements and take the money unless his teammates were involved. And if those who remember, back in the day, he did a commercial, a national commercial with his 3 receivers, David Givens, Troy Brown, and Deion Branch. Yeah. And then a couple years later, he did that offensive line, I can't say the brand, but he did a commercial with the entire offensive line. And what he did in that moment, he was rising as a star. He was making a ton of money, but he included all of his people. He wanted to bring everyone along with him. He was not comfortable with being separated from everyone. And when he did those commercials, not only did he make sure that they were involved and on TV with him, he made sure that they got paid and he didn't. And when we talk about true inclusivity, that's what it's about. It's including people to be a part of the group. And that to me is one of his most key leadership skills and abilities.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.